From Duncan Park in Hartford, Nesson presents Yard Goats Baseball. Tonight, the Yard Goats host the Toronto Blue Jays affiliate, the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. And good evening, everybody. Well, Dan Lovallo, Jeff Dooley with you. The Goats start half number 2 in the Eastern League on the right track, Dan, with a 3-1 victory.
Well, that's the way you want to do it, Jeff, and the pitching particularly was outstanding, helping the Yard Goats to victory.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from last night's game. The Yard Goats get to Jerron Watts-Brown right away. Cole Carrick leads off the home first inning with a triple down the right field line. Boy, he can fly. Head first dive into third base, his 4th triple of the season. Next batter is Juan Guerrero. He gets him in on an infield ground ball, and it's 1-0 Yard Goats. Mason Green in some trouble in the 3rd inning, but he strikes out Jackson Hornung to end the threat. Hartford adds a run in the 4th. Dion Jorge's bases-loaded walk, and it's 2-0 Yard Goats. Hartford takes a 3-0 lead in the 8th inning on Braden Ward's 2-out RBI single. Hartford's pitching, Dan, as you mentioned, solid again. 2nd straight game, they limit the opposition to just 1 run. Brian Castillo, 2 strikeouts in 9th, and the Yard Goats win in 3-1 the final score. A couple of notables in the game. How about the play of Kyle Carroll, Dan? He extends a new franchise record. He's reached base now in 32 consecutive games.
He didn't waste any time with a walk, but then he continued his hitting streak, Jeff, with a big double.
He had a double, and he just continues to do things, and now he's hit safely now in 11 in a row.
And that is the longest winning streak among active Eastern League players as Kyle Carroll continues to get the job done.
Another big thump in the Goats lineup is Jose Cordova. He's back in the lineup today, and boy, he's really hit well in the month of June.
Well, he's interesting because he was signed as an international free agent in 2018. He can catch, he can play first base, and more than that, he really loves to play. I mean, he was on the injured list and wanted to come off as quickly as possible, and his first day when he was activated from that injured list, he hit 2 home runs.
Meanwhile, Jace Borfin has been in that lineup, a key catalyst at the top, and he had 3 hits in the game last night against Hartford.
Well, he's got a great form at the plate. Fundamentally, he is a sound hitter. When he was at Arkansas, he was a .300 career hitter. He can play left field, he can play right field, center field. He covers a lot of ground. His instincts are exceptional, and he is one of the top prospects in the Blue Jays organization.
Dan, as we take a look at the mound matchup tonight, 2 guys that have promising futures. First for the Yard Goats, Sean Sullivan. He looks to become the Goats' first 6-game winner.
He's won 4 of his last 5 starts, and he's coming off of a victory. Earlier this year, he defeated the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. He's not going to overpower you with a fastball, but location is the way to describe Sean Sullivan.
Trey Savage, meanwhile, will pitch for the Fisher Cats, and this will be his 3rd start in the Eastern League, but he's the top pitching prospect in the Jays organization.
He was the Blue Jays' first-round pick last season out of East Carolina. He's got a tremendous fastball. In fact, his first professional debut was actually unofficial as he pitched in a spring breakout game this spring and got the victory.
All right, up next, we'll check in with Yard Goats slugger Zach Kokoska. That and more as our coverage continues here on Nesson. Back at a pregame shows, get you set for Yard Goats baseball, and Yard Goats slugger Zach Kokoska joins us now. And Zach, a big home run on Sunday, a 3-run shot to really get the offense going in the first inning.
Yeah, it was great. I saw the guys on base, and I took a nice shot at it and connected, so it worked out for our team to help us get the win on the last game of the first half.
You have really hit the ball extremely well in the month of June. Talk about your approach at the plate, what you're trying to do when you step in.
Just trying to get a good fastball to hit and not chase out of the zone, and just trust my approach and stick with one thing and not jump around with different approaches, and just trust myself.
You led the league in home runs last year. Now your 2nd season back in the Eastern League. Talk about some of the things that you want to accomplish here in 2025 with this Yard Goats team.
Obviously, we want to make playoffs and get a championship here in Hartford. Individually, I just want to keep building off of what I've built on and keep improving and helping the team win in every way that I can. Yeah, I know you're a winner, and obviously played a huge role in the Yard Goats' success last year in their first half championship, and this year, late May, you guys are in the thick of things in the playoff hunt, and talk to the guys in the clubhouse. It all starts fresh this week with the new season, the second half beginning, but it seems like everyone thinks that it's going to be a really good second half. Yeah, I think so too. I think we're all feeling really good right now. I think we're playing well right now, and I think we're coming together as a team really well. So I have faith that we're going to make the playoffs in the second half and make a good run.
Talk about your college experience and playing at K-State and how that helped really prepare you for a professional career.
Kansas State was awesome. Great coaching there, great hitting development, great facilities and everything. Having all that together was just a blessing, and it really just helped me grow as an individual and grow as a baseball player and really learn how to play the game the right way, because they do it the right way over there.
How about the transition now going from college baseball to pro ball? And you've been a professional for a couple of years now, but and there's no schoolwork now. But that being said, I mean, doing this for a living every day, I mean, it's definitely a grind.
Yeah, it's a lot different than college. 3 times the amount of games. You just got to grind it out with your buddies, and the competition is a lot harder too. And hitting with wood bats is harder. So you got to kind of all balance that and find your way through while you make it through the minor leagues. But if you're good enough, you'll survive.
How cool is it when you watch the highlights of the Rockies and see 14 guys that were teammates with you last year now in the big leagues? I mean, that's pretty impressive for a Double-A team.
It's awesome. I mean, it gives us all hope. We're not too far away, and there's light at the end of the tunnel, and we're all really close to it. So it just motivates us to work that much harder and get there ourselves.
Fun watching you play. It's always great when you get out there to hit a home run. The fans love you here in Hartford, and I appreciate the time, Zach.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Zach Kokoska joining us on the pregame show. We'll take a break. We've got Yard Goats baseball coming up next, right here on Nesson. And back at Duncan Park in downtown Hartford, Jeff Dooley, Dan Lavallo. A steamy one tonight. Temperature 91 degrees here in the capital city. And as the Yard Goats, the Rockies affiliate, up against the Blue Jays farm team, the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. Let's take a look at the Fisher Cats starting lineup. It's presented by the Hartford, Ashland, Massachusetts. And if Jackson Hanong made a nice impression, Dan, last night he had 3 hits.
He sure did. 3 hits and 4 at-bats, including a hit in his first at-bat.
Yard Goats starting pitcher, and take a look at the defense behind lefty Sean Sullivan, who gets the nod for the Goats. He tries to win for the 6th time in 8 games. He beat Reading in his last start on Thursday.
And he also defeated the New Hampshire Fisher Cats during that stretch. The defense behind him, one of the best in the Eastern League, a .983 field percentage, only second to the Erie Seawolves. And it's a tight defense, committing the second fewest errors of any team in the Eastern League, and certainly Sullivan will like that. He's not going to overpower you, so he's going to rely on that defense to play behind him, Jeff.
Take a look at tonight's umpires, calling balls and strikes. Behind the dish, it is Alex Shears. Tim Berenz is the crew chief. He is at first base, and Chase Eubanks will make decisions at third. Sean Sullivan, 22 years old. He's from just outside of Boston. He is from Andover, Massachusetts, and he has been very impressive since arriving in Hartford. Late last year, he started the only playoff game here at Duncan Park history, and he is on the bump with Jose Cordova catching. Chase Borfin is in, and today's first pitch is slapped towards second. Back down by Jorge. Gets to his feet, throws to first base, but it's off the mark, and reaching first base is Borfin.
Well, there we go. We talk about defense, and on the first pitch, Jorge gets knocked to the ground fielding, and that might have thrown him off as far as the throw to first. Just like that, there's a base runner. By the way, last night, Borfin led off the game by swinging at the first pitch.
Jackson Hornung, the first baseman. Ashland, Massachusetts native, who told you, nice debut with 3 hits yesterday. He was crushing it in the Northwest League as he takes up high for a ball. .308 batting average, 3 homers, and 24 runs batted in. Jay's 16th round pick in 2023 out of Skidmore College in Saratoga Springs, New York. The next one is in for a strike. Dan, the Goats faced an Ashland, Massachusetts native in a game last night, Alex Afalmi, and it's pretty amazing that 2 kids from the same Massachusetts hometown that were friends growing up, played the same youth teams, and now they're pro ball together. Stopped her down at first base, and back in time is Borfin.
Well, it's a small town, really, wedged between Boston and Worcester. Famous, by the way, for, among other things, being the home of the invention of the electric clock. How about that?
Is that right? Now that is great minutia. The next one is outside for a ball. Breaking pitch Missing that time. The count goes to 2 balls and now 3 balls and a strike.
I don't know if it's great timing, but great minutia. The electric clock.
Yeah, that's right. Sullivan 6'4", 190. We're up 112 miles from Duncan Park. Pitch, swing and a miss. And the count fills now 3 balls and 2 strikes. He'll come at hitters with a 4-seam fastball and then use a changeup and slider mix. Changeup usage a little bit more than the slider. And he does have that funky delivery where he can throw hitters off. Here's his payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Get him with a fastball. Ornang strikes out swinging, and that is out number 1. There's a look at our dirt cam as put in by Major League Baseball yesterday. 10 keys to the game presented by West Hartford Lock. What do the Goats need to do to make it 3 straight in the win column?
Well, the Yard Goats need to score early, particularly since New Hampshire has a difficult time scoring runs. Maintain the running game that was very apparent last night and continue the solid pitching they got last night.
Charles McAdoo takes the pitch. McAdoo coming in at .227 batting average, 5 homers and 19 runs batted in, but he's been going really good his last 10 games, hitting at a .371 clip. Chuck to first base, and back in time is Borfin. McAdoo acquired last July from the Pirates organization, originally in the Bucks' 13th round pick out of San Diego State. Runner breaks for second. The pitch is a strike to throw down to second base. Not nearly in time. Now gets away from Jorge, but it's backed up by Cole Carrigan. No way will Borfin test his arm. But it's a stolen base for Jace. He's in a scoring position.
Well, New Hampshire came into this game 10th in the Eastern League in steals. That's just the 58th stolen base of the season by the Fisher Cats, but they did get a stolen base last night.
Sullivan on Thursday, I should say, in Reading. 7 innings. He allowed just 4 runs and a 6-4 win, and won a season-high 7 strikeouts against the Reading Fightin' Phils. Pitch to McAdoo. A time call will be a pitch clock violation called on Sean Sullivan. So it'll be an automatic ball. Sullivan 5-2 in 7 starts, a .295 earned run average. He's walked just 6 to go along with 44 strikeouts. And more recently, 39 strikeouts over his last 30 innings. Swing and a miss. Good breaking pitch that time from Sullivan. And the count evens off 2 balls, 2 strikes. Goats won the ball game last night by a 3-1 score. 2-2 pitch. Busts him in with a fastball. He misses the inside edge, and the count fills now to McAdoo 3-2. Second straight night, the Goats get great pitching and limit the opposition to just 1 run. Goats won 9-1 on Sunday. They win 3-1 last night. Here's the payoff pitch. It swung and popped up. This will be playable. Looking up to the bright sunshine is Jorge, the second baseman. Backpedaling, stays with it. He makes the catch at the edge of the infield grass, and McAdoo is out number 2.
You can see even though Jorge has sunglasses, that's a difficult sky right now with the sun bearing down, and he's stuck with it.
Ryan McCarty in the lineup for the first time this week. He did not play last night as a starting pitcher. He actually came in the 9th inning and struck out against Castillo, but he makes his first start in this series. Signed as a minor league free agent out of Penn State Abington. And breaking pitch missing low for ball 1. When you look back in time, on this day last year, it was Ryan McCarty that hit a leadoff home run for the Fisher Cats. He has eaten up lefty pitchers this season, though, Dan. He's batting .385, 5 for 13 against Southpaws.
One of the reasons he's in the lineup tonight.
No doubt about that. Tries to get his team on the board first, but he swings and misses. And the count 1 ball, 1 strike. Another breaking pitch from Sean Sullivan. Long look in. Now the 1-1 pitch is swung in and popped up. Back at first base. Zach Kokoska dropping back in a short right field, but the second baseman is there. It's Jorge that makes the catch. Had to kind of angle his batty back towards the first base side. McCarty ends up popping out to end the inning. After 1/2 in Hartford, New Hampshire nothing, and the Yard Goats coming up on Nesson. Yard Goat starting lineup is presented by the Hartford. Zach Kokoska, who heard from the pregame show, Dan, off last night. He's hitting .315 with 12 RBI this month.
Well, he has found his groove in June, and the Yard Goats hope it continues.
Trey Savage is on the bump for the Toronto Blue Jays AA affiliate, the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, and he is the top pitching prospect of the organization. So Cole Kerrig, will see him first, switch hitting center fielder for the Goats. Swings to the first pitch and rolls one to second. McCarty will field, and underhand shovel to Jackson hurling at first base, and Kerrig is disposed of for the first outs of the opening inning. Let's take a look at the starting pitcher, Savage, who's comes highly acclaimed, a former #1 pick, Dan Lavallo.
First-round pick last year out of East Carolina by the Blue Jays, making just his third start at the AA level.
One pitch gets the ground ball out. Now Juan Guerrero is the hitter. And the pitch to him is up high for a ball. Guerrero, .258 batting average, 15 doubles, a home run, 22 runs batted in. Check swing appealed on to first base, and Timberara says he goes around. Crowd does not like the call, and we're going to use a timeout.
I don't think Juan was happy with the call either, and the TrackMan showed it was low.
Guerrero, .251 batting average, swings and grounds on the left side, sliding it short as Daughtry knocks it down, but has no play to get Guerrero. He will reach on an infield style single. Good play by Kate Doty to dive to his right just to keep that ball in the infield.
That ball came off his bat at 84 miles per hour, and like you said, Doty doing well just to try and plug the hole on the left side, but Guerrero has himself a hit.
Well, here comes Kyle Karros, just a joy to watch. He last night set a record. He's reached base safely in 32 consecutive games. That is a new franchise mark as he bats with Guerrero at first base. And the first one to him, fastball heater at 95 for strike one. Karros also has an 11-game hitting streak, which is the longest active streak in the Eastern League. He went 1 for 3 with a walk and a double last night. Former 5th-round pick out of UCLA, chuck to first base, and Guerrero dives back okay. Savage, 6'4", 235 from Pottstown, Pennsylvania. This one a little bit low, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike, and he got to make a start. In fact, his AA debut was in his home state of Reading, Pennsylvania. Pitched 4 innings, allowed a run on June 12th, but he had 4 walks, which limited him to just 4 innings. He struck out 4 in that game. Pitch swing and a miss. Good looking slider that time, and it's 1-2. You see the delivery, Dan? I was talking to a couple of scouts earlier, and they were saying it almost like a starfish. He just kind of comes over the top and drops it down.
And not only his fastball, his curveball too.
Like right over the top. This one is fouled straight back. Heroes hangs tough. A heater at 95, and it's 1-2.
He doesn't throw the curve all that much, but when he does, it's your prototypical 12-6 break.
Hornung at first base, the Massachusetts kid holding on Juan Guerrero. Goats looking for a run here in the first inning. We're just getting going, 0-0. Swinging a foul tip and out of the mid of Jacob Sharp, who's the catcher. He cannot hold on. And stays at a ball and 2 strikes.
Savage actually made his pro debut in an unprofessional setting. I mean, very professional, but not considered a real game in spring training when he played in the spring breakout game against the Minnesota Twins prospects, and he was the winning pitcher in that game.
That's a cool thing that Major League Baseball has done the last couple of years, get all the prospects together and have kind of a spring breakout game at the spring training sites, and a little stoppage in play, and I think an equipment issue for Jacob Sharp. Trainer's coming out. I wonder if he's cramping up, Dan.
Well, it is very possible. It's that kind of a night. Once again, the game time temperature 90 degrees, and he got hit on that foul tip. So that's the reason there's a stoppage in play. So we wait for.
I'm going to run some water out there too.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of that and maybe some cramping. And as you said, Jeff, on the scene is athletic trainer or Elvis Vargas.
I don't think it was as hot today as it was yesterday, but we don't have catcher's gear on, do we?
No, it's 5 degrees cooler.
All right.
It's 90 degrees at game time.
Yeah, that is still toasty.
It was 95 yesterday at game time.
Hopefully Sharp is okay and can stay in this game. He did not play last night. Alex Stone had catching duties a night ago for the Blue Jays affiliate.
See the manager on the scene there, Brent Lavalley. And it's just a question of time here on this warm evening as we wait for Sharp to get back in behind the plate.
Yeah, we're talking to a lot of the yard goats today just about staying hydrated, and most of them told us that they just continually carry water bottles with them throughout the day, and they need to make sure part of their job is to make sure they hydrate in this heat.
As a look at Savage and also the plate umpire, Alex Shears. But, you know, you think of Savage, and here he was a first-round draft choice last year by the Toronto Blue Jays. And some of these pitchers, Jeff, as the crowd looks on, some of these pitchers are on a fast track. For example, last night the Cincinnati Reds started Chase Burns. I think he might come out of this ball game. He's going to come out of the game.
He is coming out.
Wow.
Oh, boy. He might have been feeling dizzy, and, you know, they'll take every safety precaution necessary, and he can go in the clubhouse where it's much cooler.
And Alex Stone, who, as you mentioned, caught last night's game, is going to take over for Sharp. So Stone, who was prepared, had put that catcher's gear on as Sharp comes out due to injury, and now the announcement will be made.
And Fisher Cats lose their catcher in the very first inning. And Alex Stone, who caught last night's game, is behind the plate. What if Guerrero run and try to test him right away?
Oh, I'm sure he will. And the Yard Goats really had a field day last night. They were running at will, and I'm sure they'll be running on Stone just as they did last night. I mean, they had one inning with 4 stolen bases last night, and there was a very productive night on the base paths for the Yard Goats. So now Karros is ready to get back to work.
So Karros is in. Is Savage ready? There goes the runner as we thought. Pitches a strike, throw down to second base is not in time. So Guerrero steals second base, but Karros strikes out. And that is out number 2. Yeah, why not test the new guy, right?
Absolutely right.
Guerrero with a theft, and he's in scoring position now for a guy that's been an RBI machine at Hartford this season, and that's Jose Torres. Torres, the shortstop, .240 batting average, 9 homers, 38 runs driven in. And Savage drops the slider low for ball 1. Goats looking for a first inning run against the 21-year-old right-hander, the top pitching prospect in the Jays system, Trey Savage. And a swing and a miss. Number 1 pick out of East Carolina.
Well, the Yard Goats need to get ahead here. They were 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position last night.
How about Savage won the AAC pitching triple crown in 2024. Looks off to second. Now pumps home a 1-1. Now timeless call. They're going to call a pitch clock violation on Savage, and it will be 2-1. That's the second one we've seen.
Yeah, that's right, in this first inning.
So Guerrero digs out his lead at second base. Swing and a miss. And breaking pitch that time, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Torres.
Looked like a sharp slider that time.
Now the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Ball dropped by the catcher to get a throwing lane, throw it out to first base, a strikeout to end the inning. Goats failed to score a man from second, 1 done in Hartford, and no score on Nesson. Devontae Brown will start things here in the seconds, and the pitch to him is in for strike one. He begins him with a heater. Brown 187 batting average, 2 homers and 15 runs batted in. Breaking pitch misses low, and the count 1 ball 1 strike. Sullivan does that full squat before he delivers. There's a strike. Look at the movement on that pitch, Dan. It's 1 and 2.
Tremendous.
If you haven't seen Sullivan before, he could be really tricky.
And again, he's not going to throw hard. Rarely does he top 90, but he's so deceptive.
There's this fastball that missed high above the letters. The count 2 balls 2 strikes.
And you know, talking to some scouts, can a pitcher who doesn't break 90 miles per hour consistently make the major leagues? Their answer, an emphatic yes.
2-2 fastball again. Try to go to the top step of the ladder, but not able to lay off that heat. It's 3-2.
It's all about location, deception, release point, arm extension as you release the baseball.
Infield does play him to pull. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and it misses up ball 4. Devontae Brown, the leadoff walk. First free pass given up by Sean Sullivan. The Goats in a stretch of 9 home games over the next 10 days. Binghamton coming to town next Tuesday for a short 3-game series. Goats, though, trying to make it 3 straight in the win column and 6 wins in 7 games. They just won 4 of 6 in Reading. Here's shortstop Kate Doty. Swing and a miss. Strike 1.
Keep an eye on Brown. He has 4 stolen bases on the year. Hasn't been caught stealing yet. And New Hampshire has been running a bit more.
Kokosk at first base, holds the runner. Pitch is swung on. That's line towards right. Hill on the move. GJ will get there as he makes the catch. Puts away Kate Doty. That's the first out of the 2nd inning. Then he hit that one on the nose, but GJ Hill able to get to it quickly.
Well, he got a great read on it. He made a difficult play look easy, but then again, that's GJ. Tremendous jump. The minute that ball made contact with the bat, Hill was off and running and was in position to make the grab.
Son Brown, the hitter. Takes the slider a little bit low for ball 1. Brown 204 batting average, 2 homers and 4 runs batted in. Signed as a non-drafted free agent, 2022 out of NC State. Chuck to first base, and Devontae Brown back okay. Deshaun, I should say, 3 for his last 29 at the plate. There goes the runner for second. The pitch is dropped by the catcher Cordova. It'll be a stolen base for Devontae Brown.
So he picks up his 5th steal of the year. Got a tremendous jump on a left-handed pitcher, no less. And here come the running Fisher Cats. 2 stolen bases in the first 2 innings of the game. But they have been struggling in this series so far. They are 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position. I beg your pardon, 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position.
2-0 pitch. Another good-looking slider that hooks in for the strike. Alex Shearer's up with the right fist, and count goes to 2-1.
They were 0 for 8 last night and were 0 for 2 in the first inning tonight.
Pitch, swing, a ground ball hit out to shortstop, fielded by Torres on first base to retire Brown. He is gone for out number 2 on the play. Devontae Brown advances from 2nd to 3rd.
Now you see, Torres didn't have time to spare because Desan Brown also has speed, but he did have time to get that runner at first. Nice throw by Torres, who's been a great addition to the Hartford team this year.
He has. Gabriel Martinez, meanwhile, hits. He's hitting 152 over his last 10 games. He swings here, though, and lines one into center field for a hit. In from 3rd comes Devontae Brown. Around 2nd, on first base is Martinez. He'll stop with a 2-out single. And he punched that one right up the middle, Dan, a line drive hit.
And punched is the word, because that pitch was on the outer portion of the plate, and he reached out and punched it into center field. And again, we see this New Hampshire team swinging at the first pitch, so Sullivan might have to change his strategy a bit.
Jacob Sharp comes in, a 9-hole hitter. And the pitch, actually Alex Stone in for Sharp when Sharp left the game, so it's actually Stone batting now. Sharp left after a ball was fouled off him, and he looked a little bit dizzy. They got him some water, and he left the game. It's fouled back and back to the backstop, but it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Alex was 0 for 3 in last night's game.
He's from Andover, New Jersey, up against a pitcher from Andover, Massachusetts, Sean Sullivan. Ground ball, third base. Nice play by Quiros on a second for the out to end the inning. Fisher Cats do get a run, and a 2-out single from Gabriel Martinez, and after an inning and a half, Fisher Cats 1 and the Yard Goats nothing. As Mark reaching base in 32 consecutive games, and then later in the game he broke the record with a walk. Later in the game he comes up and he cracks a double, and he gets now an 11-game hitting streak. He just continues to do good things here in Hartford.
That's his 12th double of the season, and you just saw the play he made at third base to end the top of the second inning. That was a scorcher, and he handled it flawlessly.
We'll move along to the last half of the second inning, and Jose Cordova leading things off for the Goats. It's up high in the count, 2 balls, no strikes. 2-0 pitch, swing and a miss. And the count goes to 2-1. Cordova, 288 batting average, 7 doubles, 4 homers, and 15 runs batted in. Swings and misses here. And the count evens off, 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's been a huge bat to come back from the lineup because he missed a little bit more than a week when he pulled his hamstring up in Portland, and kind of a chilly day in Maine. And good to see him back because he was closing in on 300 as you take a look at the MLB Dirt Cam. That's a little bit low, and the count fills now 3-2.
And you know, normally it takes longer for a player to come back from a hamstring injury, but it was just a short stint on the IL for Jose.
Treyas Savage back to pitch. Fly ball hit down the right field line. Chase Borfin angles towards the foul territory, but he can't get it. It's just below the Hartford upper deck. We'll do again, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And not a lot of foul territory at Duncan Park as you go down the lines.
No, not at all.
Crowd cheering on Jose Cordova, who was a Dominican Summer League All-Star back in 2019. This is Jose's 7th season in the minors. Sends that one out towards Main Street. A heater at 95. We'll do it again, 3-2.
Well, he certainly make Savage work here. Savage in his last start against Somerset threw 54 pitches. In his debut at Reading, he threw 68 pitches.
Again, his payoff pitch to the Goats catcher. Right down the middle, strike 3 call. Is Savage with 3 consecutive strikeouts. Now going to the plate is Braden Ward, and he just continues to do good things. And he had a big hit last night's game to get the Goats stand 8th inning insurance there. The RBI single. He'll steal a base, or he'll steal 2.
Well, that's Braden Ward. He makes things happen. Don't be surprised if you see him drop a bunt here.
273 batting average entering play tonight. And changeup is low for ball 1.
Third baseman McAdoo is playing near the cutout portion of the diamond. And the first baseman Horning is even with a bag at first. So they are not ruling out the possibility of Ward dropping one.
Savage and his 1-0 pitch is popped up back behind the plate. Alex Stone gives it a look, but it's going to be back towards the field box seats. 1 ball, 1 strike. Savage's 1-1. Looked like a splitter that time down in the zone. The count goes to 2-1. Zach Kokoska waiting on deck. He'll be next. A line drive into left field. On the move is Martinez. Gabriel will get there and make the catch and puts away Braden Ward for the second out of the second inning.
Well, that was a high fastball coming in at 96 miles per hour, and you see what Braden did, went with it, but right at Martinez.
A look at Goats third base coach and manager Bobby Meacham. Eastern League Manager of the Year last year. First baseman Zach Kokoska's in. Meach hoping for a 2-out rally. Kokoska in his last game Sunday in Reading, Pennsylvania, hit a tape measure home run. Takes the fastball high for ball one. Kokoska's hit 7 bombs this season, 25 RBI. And pitch, the splitter is in for a strike. He is 6'4", 235, a native of Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Is Savage swing and a miss here. And the count goes to 1-2. There's the curveball from the 21-year-old righty. If Kokoska could go opposite way, especially between the third baseman Charles McAdoo and the bag, he could run forever. McAdoo is way off the line playing Kokoska to pull. Defensive swing that time, and he shoots one straight back, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, you got a couple of Pennsylvanians going at it here because Zach is from Greenburgh, Pennsylvania. Look at that hole. Man, between the third baseman
That's a
and the
big
line.
hole. You could put a Mack truck through that thing. That's low, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Is Savage making his 3rd start since getting promoted from Class A Vancouver. And told you he pitched in the spring breakout game for the Blue Jays, and he's the #1 pitching prospect, and blows a fastball by Zach Kokoska to finish off the inning. 4 punch outs for Trey Savage, and after 2 complete, New Hampshire leads at 1-0. Prospects now on the Fisher Cats roster. I guess it begins at the top. The headline is the 20-year-old Trey Savage, who's pitching tonight. He is the #2 overall prospect and the top arm in the Jays system, Dan, with the Fisher Cats.
And the Yard Goats saw Jerron Watts-Brown last night, and they'll see him again on Sunday afternoon.
Jace Borfin will lead things off for the Fisher Cats. 1-0 New Hampshire as we open the 3rd. John Sullivan back to pitch. The first one, a rocket foul. Way down the first base line. Not a play as he barreled a DH. Sullivan in the driver's seat.
And that's the 2nd time in 2 at-bats Borfin has gone after that first pitch, and Sullivan placed it right out over the middle.
Sean Sullivan sporting that blue glove. Ground ball right to the first baseman. Zach Kokoska has it. He flips to Sully, covering the bag in time to get Borfin. And a couple of pitches and 1 out in the books.
Jeff, this is an important stretch for Sullivan as we watch that grounder to first, because he hasn't done much wrong here with the Yard Goats. If there's been one blip, sometimes he'll have difficulty the 2nd time through the batting order. So we will see what happens tonight as we start that 2nd time through the order.
Jackson Hornung is the first baseman. And the pitch is in for a strike. The Blue Jays had signed one of his close friends from Ashland, Massachusetts, hometown, Alex Alfami, who actually pitched against the Goats last night. The pitch is swung out, and that's grounded up the middle into center field for a hit. So that's the 4th hit in 2 games for Jackson Hornung against Yard Goats pitching. Jen, what I was going to say is the Blue Jays asked Amalfi if there's any other D2, D3 kids that they should take a look at. And he said, yeah, there's this kid, Jackson Hornung, who went to college at Skidmore College up in New York. Take a look at him, and next thing you know, the Blue Jays draft him. How about knowing the right people, right?
Well, I'll tell you what, Amalfi can become a scout someday.
Right. What if Norrbung beats him to the big leagues? Both now in Double-A. Here's Charles McAdoo as he looks at strike one.
Well, it's quite a story to get two players from the same small town making it through the ranks of professional baseball with the same organization and being on the same team.
Kokoska at first base holds the runner. This one is outside of the count. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And to be playing on a team that really is not that far from Ashland. You can make a day trip over to New Hampshire or come down to Hartford
Sure.
or go up to Portland.
I'm sure he's got plenty of family here as he leads from first base. Next one is in for a strike. Good hard stuff, and the count goes to 1-2.
Or you can watch the game on TV.
That works too. Nesson plus tonight's. Saturday, Sunday, Nesson tomorrow. 1-2 pitch, chopped towards third base. Coming in, it's Karros. He's got it on to first base for out number 2. When Kyle Karros makes a game, and again, we've seen him make tremendous plays, but just so gracefully.
Well, and knew what to do with the baseball. He knew he had no chance to get Hornick at second base, and so he got the sure out at first. That's anticipation.
It
What
is.
do I do if the ball is hit to me? Where is that runner? You're always thinking.
Well, the Fisher Cats tried to get the lead runner in a big spot yesterday, and a great play by Braden Ward. He beat the throw to second base, and the Goats ended up stealing a run out of that. Ryan McCarty pops it up in the infield. This should end the inning. Here's the second baseman. Jorge makes the catch on the infield shot, and that'll do it for New Hampshire in the third as they leave a man. We played 2.5, 1-0 Fisher Cats. As we open the third inning, he's given up a infield single. That's been it. 4 strikeouts for the 21-year-old righty looking for his first win. This is his third game at Double-A. Dion Jorge will see him for the first time and takes the pitch low for ball 1. Started him with a slider. Long look in by Yasavich, working with Alex Stone, who's got the gear on now. The Fisher Cats have changed catchers. Originally it was Jacob Sharp that started. He had to leave the game in the first inning, injured. I'm not sure if he was dehydrated. They brought some water out for him, and hopefully he is okay. And Stone, who caught last night, back behind the plate. That's chopped foul, and 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Goats second baseman with G.J. Hill on deck. Fisher Cats have scored the first run of the game, a 2-out RBI single by Gabriel Martinez, scoring Devontae Brown, who led off the second with a walk. Boy, leadoff walks, they do kill, don't they?
They sure do.
That ball bounced in there, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Sullivan doesn't walk many.
There's a curveball, but he spiked it. Savage 6'4", 235. Misses here, and the count fills now 3-2.
Well, the Yard Goats have done a pretty good job of waiting out Yasavage to try and build up that pitch count, which is at 36. And there have been several full counts.
And the payoff pitch, chopper to hit foul as he hangs tight. Once again, the looking fastball, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, Jeff, you look at Yasavich, and he's big. You can understand why the Blue Jays are high on him. 6'4", 225 pounds, but pitching over the top the way he does, you almost get tired watching him pitch.
Long look in, now the 3-2 pitch is swung out and sent towards right field for Jace Borfin. Moves to his left, glides underneath, and he puts away Dion Jorge for the first out of the 5th inning. Well, apparently the Blue Jays were heavily scouting Trey Yasavich, and when he thought a couple of days before the draft that it might be Toronto that selected him, he applied for a passport so we could get to Canada for the press conference and kind of meet the new group. And he apparently didn't rush the passport, but it was Toronto that actually did draft him. He had to go and pay an extra $100 to go get that passport because they wanted him ASAP. A liner off the bat of Hill, quickly coming in as Borfin, and he makes the catch. I guess Devontae Brown, rather, that makes that play. And Dan, I guess it pays to have a passport, huh?
It does, and it pays when you apply for one to perhaps expedite the process, even if it costs you a few extra bucks.
So two-way now for Cole Carrick. And he takes the pitch, low for ball one. Carrick grounded to second base. Ryan McCarty put him away to begin the inning. That was back in the first. A little excuse me swing and a foul at home plates.
I don't know if it hit the umpire in the helmet or the catcher. It might have been the umpire that time, Alex Shears. Tell you what, the Fisher Cats, yeah, that got Shears. Whoa, that'll shake the cobwebs loose. Yeah, right off the front of the mask. But the Fisher Cats can ill afford to lose any more catchers because Stone is the last catcher listed on the roster. Shears is going to be okay, but I'll tell you what, that area behind home plate has been dangerous tonight for both the catcher and the umpire. Savage is, I think, claiming that was a foul ball.
I thought it was a foul ball too.
No, they're saying it's ball two.
Oh, wow. So 2-0 now to Carrick. Shoots a foul down the third baseline. Back towards the Duncan dugouts, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Cole, a switch hitter. Enjoying a lot of success this season. A second-round pick out of San Diego State. Swings and drives one deep down the right field line. Twisting foul and towards the Tyndale party porch. Had the distance, without a doubt. Just foul. Now just needs to straighten it out. He has 10 home runs. That is tops on the club.
I tell you, you've got to have pretty good aim to put the baseball in that area of the ballpark in between the foul pole and the overhang of the Hartford upper deck to wedge it in under there.
Yep. He does have some pretty good ability, does Cole Carrick. And he takes strike 3. Good looking pitch. Got him with a splitter. And it's a strikeout, 5th of the ball game for Savage, and the Goats go 1-2-3 for this second straight inning. On to the 4th we go. It's 1-0 New Hampshire on Nesson. Valley Sports Lab is your home for minor league baseball all season long. Watch every game at no cost in the MILB zone. Test your skills and earn rewards in the game center. Buy tickets to watch your favorite teams. Valley Sports Lab is the perfect companion for the minor league baseball fan. Step up to the plate and download the Valley Sports Live app today. Top of the 4th inning. Sean Sullivan back to pitch. Here's Dan Lavallo.
All right, Jeff, thanks very much. Devontae Brown swings and misses at the first pitch, strike 1. Brown has scored this game's only run. He walked to lead off the second, stole second, and came in on a 2-out single by Gabriel Martinez. That's a ball. 1-1. So through 5 innings tonight in Baltimore, Jacob deGrom of the Texas Rangers is pitching a perfect game. Swing and a miss. 1-2. You think they will allow him to stay and pitch the entire game if he has a no-hitter going?
Doesn't happen much, does it?
Not anymore.
No.
I mean, even the other day, the Yankees lifted Clark Schmidt, had a no-hitter, threw 7, and that was it. He was done. He threw 103 pitches, and that was it. Pitches fouled back.
Yeah, I think the pitchers too are so accustomed to now just coming out because it's happened. It's happened for so long in the minor leagues that I just, imagine back in the day trying to take that baseball away from Nolan Ryan.
Impossible. Or
Yeah.
Bob Gibson. Wouldn't happen.
No.
There's a ball. Now deGrom has thrown 58 pitches through 5 innings, but the Rangers really, because he's so injury prone and is coming off an injury last year, the Rangers are really handling him with kid gloves. Oh, that fastball misses. Sullivan wants to know where it was. And you could see just by his demeanor, he thought he had struck out Brown, but now the count runs to 3-2. Changeup is in there. Strike 3 called. Now, wait a minute. He was appealing to the first base umpire, so that is a walk. I thought that he had given the called strike call, but in fact he did not. The home plate umpire Alex Shears was looking down to the crew chief Tim Barreras, and Barreras said he checked his swing, so that is a walk. The second time Brown has drawn a leadoff walk, Jeff.
Yeah, and he came around and scored the only run of this game.
And he stole a base last time to set up that run. The first pitch to Doty is outside, ball 1. Doty lined out to right his first time up. 1-0 Fisher Cats here in the top of the 4th inning. And this pitch is driven in the air to right center field, and it's the center fielder Carrig who makes the catch for the first out. Carrig getting a good jump and easily hauling that one in. Now Desan Brown, who grounded out too short his first time up. Keep an eye on Devontae Brown. He already has a stolen base tonight. 5 steals on the season. He has yet to be caught stealing. Pitch drops in there for a strike. A breaking ball from Sean Sullivan. Sullivan throws a 4-seam fastball, slider, and change. And this pitch is ripped on a hop to the shortstop Torres. He drops it, picks it up, is thrown to second in time to get Devontae Brown. And Desan Brown will reach on the fielder's choice. A ball that was hit at 87 miles per hour. And you see Torres hugging it and sticking with it.
Yeah, he tried to get on that tough in-between hop, and a good job to not give up on the play. Knew he had to play it to get Devontae Brown at second base, and got the ball there. It was pretty good.
Now Desan Brown also a base stealing threat as Gabriel Martinez digs in. Changeup misses, ball 1. Desante Brown has 11 steals on the year. He has not been caught stealing. 11 for 11. That's a pretty good percentage, I would say. In fact, that's a very good percentage. He started to go, then stopped as Martinez fouls it back. 1-1 the count on Martinez, who delivered a 2-out single to center, knocking in Devontae Brown for this game's only run. Sullivan's pitch count very manageable. 1-1. Changeup is swung on and missed, 1-2. See if he comes in with another off-speed pitch to Martinez, who requests time, and it's granted. This is game 2 of a 6-game series. These teams back at it tomorrow night, 7:10 start. There he goes. Pitch is outside, and the ball is dropped by Cordova. And Desan Brown is now 12 for 12 in stolen bases this season.
Dan, really good numbers for Sullivan. We mentioned 5 and 2, 7 games, and a really impressive 2.95 earned run average. But the 2 games that the Goats lost when Sullivan pitched, they were shut out. So, I mean, there was 0 run support in those 2 games. He's really done a good job in his first 7 starts since joining the Goats.
And you wonder how long he's going to be here. The 2-2 pitch, runner breaks for third, and it's lined into right field. It's going to drop in there for a base hit. Around third in to score is Desan Brown, and it is 2-0 New Hampshire. So the speed of the Fisher Cats leading to another run as Brown was breaking for third, and Martinez just served it into right field, this time scoring Desan Brown. And it's Martinez 2, the Yard Goats nothing. Look at the jump, but he had to get up because he made the headfirst slide, but still managed to beat the throw from Hill, who does have a very good arm. Now Alex Stone. And he rips this one to center. Carrig dropping back, makes the catch, and the side is retired. But the Cats tack on a run on the RBI single by Martinez. After 3.5, it's New Hampshire 2 and Hartford nothing, and Sean Sullivan's just been thrown out of the game. to get tickets to the Big Tacos, Tequila, and Taps Festival, July 24th through July 26th, right here at Duncan Park. There's going to be Mexican cuisine from local chefs, local, regional, and international tequilas, live music, and much more. Going to be a lot of fun here at Duncan. Juan Guerrero leads off the last of the fourth, and the first pitch is in there for a strike. Sean Sullivan has been ejected from the ball game. I don't know what he said. I don't think he was happy with some of the calls made by the plate umpire Alex Shears in that fourth inning. I think he thought he had Brown struck out, and Brown ended up walking, and that set the stage for the second run of the game for New Hampshire as Guerrero takes a pitch low. Now, at the moment, there is nobody warming up in the bullpen. There's Bobby Meacham talking with Alex Shears in between innings. Also on the scene, the Yardgoods trainer, Toshi Yokohama. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 1-2. But that Hartford bullpen will now start to get busy on this warm evening. But tempers flaring, and for the second straight night, this crew has ejected someone from the ball game.
Yeah, last night it was the Fisher Cats manager, LaValle.
There's a pop-up into shallow right. Devontae Brown makes the catch. And there's one out to start the last of the fourth. But you could tell Sullivan was frustrated as we watched that pop-up at some of the calls by Shears. And as he came off the mound and crossed the third base line, you could see they were going at each other, Shears and Sullivan, and Shears threw him out. Kyle Karros struck out swinging his first time up. Pitch bounces to the plate. Ball one. So there's a look at the Yardgoods bullpen, and warming up is Bryce McGowan. Pitch is low for a ball. 2-0. Kyle has that on base streak of 32 consecutive games. That is a franchise record. Also has an 11-game hitting streak. There's a strike. 2-1. Trey Savage into his fourth inning of work. His longest outing was his first outing at Reading. He pitched 4 innings. Fastball is in there for a strike, 2-2. Karros requests time. It's granted. The third baseman, McAdoo, really guarding the line. In fact, the infield has the shift on. There's Brent LaValle, the manager, first-year manager of the Fisher Cats, who was ejected last night in the 8th inning of the ball game. Pitch misses for a ball.
13th manager in Fisher Cats history. He was named. That guy coaching third base for the Goats, Bobby Meacham, used to manage the Fisher Cats.
Right. He's one of them. Pitch is upstairs, ball 4. So Karros continues the on-base streak. He's now been on base in 33 consecutive games.
Yeah, some of them walks. Obviously, he's got that 11-game hit streak as well, and he just continues to find a way to do good things for the Goats.
And the Yardgoods will now bat the tying run at Jose Torres. That is the first walk surrendered by Savage. Torres struck out swinging his first time up. Pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1. They play Torres to pull. They must think that the Yardgoods are going to get around on Savage's fastball, because it's a decided shift. That's the ball. 1-1 the count. On the other end, the outfield is playing Torres to hit to the opposite field in right and center. He's got a huge gap in left center. Pitch is a ball. Now a fresh supply of baseballs for Alex Shears. Last night the Yardgoods hit into 3 double plays, but managed to win the game 3-1. They are on the short end of the count tonight, 2-0. Fastball is swung on and missed. 2-2. See fans in the background eating their ice cream.
Good night for ice cream.
I mean, if you don't eat ice cream tonight, I guess you're never going to eat ice cream. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Torres goes down swinging, and there are 2 away.
6 punch-outs now for Trey Savage. He's looking sharp and has that 2-0 lead.
Yeah, he continues to add to his high for strikeouts. Entering this ball game, the most he had struck out in a game was 4 in both of his starts, but he's got 6 tonight. Jose Cordova, one of those strikeout victims. And Jose takes the pitch for a ball. They do not shift on the infield for Cordova as much as they did for Queiroz and Torres. 1-0 pitch. Fouled back. 1-1. Tomorrow night, when these two teams lock horns, the Yard Goats will send right-hander McCade Brown to the mound. Grant Rogers will pitch for New Hampshire. There's an appeal to the first base umpire, and Tim Barreras says that Cordova held up on his swing. 2-1 the count. 2 outs. Queiroz the runner at first. Now the set. 2-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 2-2. And by his body language, you could tell Cordova wasn't all happy with that call. It looked, though, to have caught the lower portion of the zone, according to TrackMan. Savage with a 2-2 pitch. Misses, ball 3. So Queiroz will be off and running on the 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. On this hot evening, game time temperature was 90 degrees. There goes Queiroz. Payoff pitch is swung on and popped up. This might be trouble. Angling over is the right fielder Brown, and he makes the catch in fair territory, ending the last of the 4th. The Yard Goats leave a runner. We've played 4. It's New Hampshire 2, Hartford nothing. This is Yard Goats baseball on NESN. Tuesday, July 29th, it's Chivo's de Hartford kids jersey. And then on Tuesday, August the 12th, the Choppers plaid kids jersey. You can scan that QR code right now for tickets. Upcoming giveaways here at Duncan Park. New pitcher in the ball game for the Yard Goats is Bryce McGowan. Jace Borfen will lead it off, and let's see if he goes after the first pitch for the 3rd straight time tonight. He's 0 for 2, and he's not first ball swinging here, and the pitch was outside of the strike zone. Borfen reached on an error in the first, grounded out to first, pitcher covering in the 3rd. There's a foul back. You just saw Bryce McGowan, who has come on after Yard Goat starting pitcher Sean Sullivan was ejected as he left the mound following the top of the 4th. Ejected by the home plate umpire Alex Shears. So McGowan has come on.
Try to keep the Goats close here in a 2-0 game.
You see Bryce's numbers. Swing and a miss. 2-2 now, the count on Borfen. Will be the top of the order for the Fisher Cats. Yard Goats bullpen did a superb job last night, allowing just 1 unearned run. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A 94-mile-per-hour fastball from McGowan, and Borfen goes down swinging. Right out over the plate, and he swung through it. Now the man of the hour, the pride of Ashland, Mass. That would be Jackson Hornung, who tonight has struck out and singled, but in his first 2 Double-A games has 4 hits in 6 at-bats. And he takes a strike, 0-1. Nice way to break in, I would say, Jeff.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Welcome to the team. And welcome back to New England.
Yep. That's a ball.
Imagine what his ticket list looks like.
We've got room.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the pitch. That's a ball. 2-1 the count. McGowan, by the way, last worked on the 20th of June against Reading, pitched 2/3 of an inning. In fact, he got into a couple of games at Reading. Swing and a miss at a high fastball, 2-2. Charles McAdoo is on deck. 2-2 pitch. Misses outside, ball 3, 3-2. Didn't take McGowan long to warm up tonight on this warm evening. Payoff pitch is a changeup, ripped to left field, and on the run, sliding and making the catch is Ward. Just another piece of cake for Braden Ward out there in left as he wears a smile.
He likes to get to everything, doesn't he?
Yep. Got to get grass stains on that uniform,
Right.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now Charles McAdoo is Ward once again in the middle of the battle. McAdoo has popped out to second and grounded out to third. Fouls this one off. 0-1. Blue Jays organization very high on McAdoo as you take a look at that New Hampshire bench. They got him in a trade with the Pittsburgh Pirates for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. This one is looped into right center field, and it's going to drop in there for a base hit. Hill comes over to field, and McAdoo is aboard with a 2-out single and is greeted by his first base coach, Delta Cleary Jr. Keep an eye on McAdoo. He might attempt to steal as Ryan McCarty settles in. McCarty has popped out to second twice tonight. Fisher Cats already have 3 stolen bases in the game. New Hampshire on top, 2-0 here in the top of the 5th inning. A throw to first, and McAdoo just gets back ahead of the tag. Kokoska thought they had him.
Yeah, so do the fans here tonight. More than 5,800, and wow.
I think he got around
I thought
it.
you think so?
Yeah, I think the first base umpire, Barreras, had the right angle, too. And he's the man whose call counts. There's a throw to first, and he's out. They get him this time. Well, 2's the charm for the Yard Goats. Halfway through this one, it's New Hampshire 2, Hartford 0. This is Yard Goats baseball on NESN. Last year, and he has been striking them out. Cordova strikes out looking. Kokoska swings through a pitch. That's a strikeout of Ward, and there's a swing and a miss, strike 3 by Torres, and he's got a season high 6 strikeouts, and now a season high in innings pitched as he pitches into the 5th inning for the first time since joining the Double-A Fisher Cats. And he'll face Braden Ward, and Braden looks at strike 1.
He has been really utilizing most of the fastball, the cutter, and the splitter. And he's, as you mentioned, with 6 punch-outs so far and going strong as he works here in the 5th.
Braden lined out to left his first time up, and he bounces this one foul, fielded by Hornung. There's the Ashland, Massachusetts native playing first base tonight. Peyton Williams played first last night. He's a big left-handed bat. On the bench in the event the Fisher Cats need him. Ward requesting time. New Hampshire with 2 runs on 4 hits. The Yard Goats no runs on 1 hit. The only hit, an infield single by Juan Guerrero back in the first inning. 0-2 pitch. Swung out and missed, strike 3. The ball is dropped by Stone. He pegs it to first, and Ward is out. That's now 7 strikeouts for Savage.
First baseman number 18, Zach Kokoska.
Just keeps mowing them down, Jeff.
Yeah. He really is. He looks sharp. He's a strikeout in every inning so far.
I would think this would probably be his last inning. If he gets through the 5th, Zach Kokoska lifts it up in the air, foul off the third base side, out of play. Zach struck out his first time up. Jeff interviewed Zach before the game, and I thought he had a number of interesting things to say. Among them, the experience he got out of playing college baseball. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball.
Yeah, played at K-State, Kansas State.
He said it made him a man.
It did, yeah. Took that next step and really helped prepare him for what he does now. He does this to earn a living, obviously, in pro ball. 2 steps away from the Colorado Rockies. He led the league in home runs last year.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 8 strikeouts for Trey Savage. Also has struck out 3 in a row.
Good looking changeup that time as he gets the strikeouts.
Dion Jorge, one of the few Yard Goats who has made contact. He skied to right at his only time up. Did he swing? He did not. Ball 1. An appeal. Savage wants an appeal, and LaValle says maybe it was a foul tip too, and the umpires are going to have a conference. Savage thought that Jorge might have made contact on that check swing. So now the umpires are conferring, and it's been that kind of a series so far with these umpires, always conferring. And he's going to say it was a foul tip. Yep, foul tip. You could read his lips. Alex Shear saying foul tip. So that moves the count to 0-1. Jorge's not too happy about it. Let's watch it again. I don't know. I'm not so sure that bat made contact with the ball. But it's too late now. 1-1 the count. The pitch. Breaking ball is lifted in the air to left field. Ranging back is Martinez. Back. He makes the catch on the warning track, ending the last of the 5th. You can tear up the rain checks. This is an official game. Yard Goats Baseball is presented by Mike's Amazing Mayonnaise and Mustard. When it's on, it's on. Find Mike's Amazing here at Duncan Park and on sale today at your local market. To learn more, visit Mike'sAmazingFoods.com. Top of the 6th, Ryan McCarty will lead it off against Bryce McGowan. By the way, Jeff, Jacob deGrom still has a no-hitter through 7. He's lost the perfect game, but has a no-hitter through 7. He's thrown 86 pitches.
All right, he's got a shot then.
He does. There's a strike to McCarty. McCarty has popped out to second twice. He was at bat in the 5th when Charles McAdoo was picked off first base. There's a strike, 0-2 the count. And now he requests time. Bryce McGowan on in relief of starter Sean Sullivan, who went 4 innings tonight, allowed 3 hits, 2 runs earned, walked 2, struck out 1. And Sullivan was ejected coming off the mound after the top of the 4th. McGowan got the call. This is fouled back. Count remains at 0-2.
Bryce, a hard-throwing right-hander. Pitch is low for a ball, 1-2. Third season with the Yard Goats. Rocky's 18th round pick out of UNC Charlotte, 2021. Last year he pitched at all 4 levels of the Rockies system. Fouled away off the first base side. Count remains at 0-2 on McCarty. He pitched it low A Fresno, high A Spokane, double A Hartford, triple A Albuquerque. Pitch is popped up behind the plate, and no chance for Cordova.
He's got a lot of minor league hats, doesn't he?
He does.
In this case. Now, you put up numbers, and certainly the Rockies organization, one thing that they do extremely well is they promote from within. Saw 14 guys from last year's class go to the big leagues this year.
This pitch is fouled off.
I mean, we knew that was a good team last year.
Yeah.
But did you think 14 big league guys within the next year? I'm not sure I did.
No. And they even have a former Yard Goat managing.
Mm-hmm. Lauren Schaefer.
Managed here.
Yep.
0-2 pitch. Way outside, a fastball, 1-2. McGowan trying to get McCarty to chase, but Ryan wasn't doing that. One-two pitch, fouled back again. This is turning out to be a legendary at-bat. 8 pitches in the at-bat, and they're running out of baseballs. Shear with a fresh supply. Any area sporting goods stores open? 1-2. Low for a ball. What an at-bat. The 11th pitch of the at-bat coming up. High, ball 4. So the count was listed at 2-2, but that actually was 3-2. And now ball 4. So there's the leadoff walk in an 11-pitch at-bat by Ryan McCarty.
On a toasty night here in Hartford.
Oh boy. Devontae Brown has walked twice. So Hartford pitchers have walked 3 batters. And that pitch is a ball. Devontae Brown twice, and now McCarty. One-0 pitch. Bounces off Cordova's chest protector. Now they've got the runner hung up. Here's the throw to first. He is safe as McCarty gets back ahead of the tag by Kokoska. Let's watch this one again, Jeff.
Seems some close plays at first base.
Yep, he got his hand in around Kokoska's mitt. Is that first baseman's mitt? 2-0. In there for a strike. McGowan taking something off that pitch. 2-1 now. The count on Devontae Brown. Now a throw to first, and McCarty gets back. Told you New Hampshire came in 10th in the circuit in stolen bases, but they have 3 steals tonight.
And the Yard Goats ranking second in stolen bases, 104, 105. They get 1 tonight.
There's a throw down to first, and getting back ahead of the tag is McCarty.
Jose Cordova flashing off the arm again. He picked off McAdoo last inning.
Meanwhile, the count moves to 3-1 on Devontae Brown. There's Cordova. McCarty takes his lead. He's not going, and the pitch is in there for a strike. 3-2. See if manager LaValle is gambling here and has McCarty running on 3-2 with nobody out. He is going, and the pitch is outside, ball 4. So McGowan has started the inning by walking the first 2 batters. Always a dangerous sign And that's going to put runners at first and second for Cade Doty. It also bring Cordova to the mound. In fact, we're going to have a full-fledged huddle here on the pitcher's mound.
Now the Goats will discuss how to pitch Cade Doty and also discuss if the Fisher Cats try to bunt here, Dan, and try to add to it as a 2-0 lead.
Or even a double steal attempt.
Right.
Take a look at that sunset. What a beautiful looking sky.
It's gotten real comfortable here at the park as well.
That's a painting right there,
It
Jeff.
is. Beautiful downtown ballpark in Duncan Park in Hartford.
McGowan has become very deliberate here in the top of the 6th inning. Here's a throw to second base, and getting back is McCarty.
Yeah, I like that play. Once in a while you might see that base runner trying to get that extra step towards third base, and you catch him.
There's the dirt cam.
Yeah, look at that angle.
He got in there. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th. The Yard Goats trailing 2-0. Bunt attempt again, but he pulls the bat back and takes the pitch low. 1-1 the count. That's McCarty at second base. The pitch, bunted. It's a beauty. McGowan has only one play to first base. Jorge, the second baseman, covering. But Doty does his job, pushing McCarty to third and Devontae Brown to second. Perfect sacrifice that time by Doty.
Yeah, it was great. You moved the runners, and now you got a couple of cracks to try to add to a 2-0 lead.
Yard Goats will bring the infield in as Desan Brown digs in. He's grounded out to short and reached on a fielder's choice. Also scored a run. Pitch misses, ball 1.
McCown's a guy that can get strikeouts, and this would be one time you'd love him to polish off the 7-hole hitter and get a K, or certainly an infield ground ball.
There is bullpen action for the Yard Goats. There's a strike, 1-1. There's a look at that Hartford bullpen, and Alec Barger is warming up on this warm evening. 1-1. Fouled away off the first base side.
Good looking slider from McGowan, and he's in the driver's seat 1 and 2. So you don't want to make this one too fine. See if you can get Brown to chase something outside of the zone and see if you can come up with a big whiff.
One-two pitch. Changeup low. Here's a look at Desan Brown. McGowan in a heap of trouble here. Little pitch on the way. Swung on and fouled back. Count remains at 2-2 on Desan Brown. Again, the infield is drawn in. The 2-2 pitch. Fouled off again off the right side. Well, this inning began with an 11-pitch at-bat. Ryan McCarty walking. And now the pitch count is mounting here. This is the 7th pitch coming up to Desan Brown. Changeup is fouled back.
What an at-bat.
What an inning. They're certainly making McGowan work. Great plate approach by the Fisher Cats.
Rice looking for that knockout punch, though, with 2 in scoring position.
Again, the 2-2 pitch. Fouled back again. That is incredible. Four straight pitches fouled back. The 9th pitch of the at-bat. 2 batters making McGowan throw at least 20 pitches. Changeup is fouled in the air. Does Cordova have a play? Angling towards the screen. He does not, as it bounces in the first row. Incredible how they are extending the at-bats in this inning, Jeff.
See if he puts him over the high fastball.
The 10th pitch upcoming to Desan Brown. There it is. Fouled away again. That is incredible.
Well, it wasn't that high, but it was a heater at 96.
That's 6 foul balls in a row. And the second batter this inning that McGowan is now throwing an 11th pitch. There it is. Fouled back again. Incredible. 7 fouls in a row. Last homestand, we saw a 12th pitch at bat.
Yep, against Connor Stain.
And here we go now. The 12th pitch of the at bat to Desan Brown. Misses outside. Here's a throw down to third, and getting back is McCarty. So the count moves to 3-2. Barger is ready when needed, and now time is requested by Desan Brown.
After all this time, now he takes the timeout. Getting ready for the 13th pitch.
I'm not so sure I've ever seen a 13 pitch at bat. There it is. Bounding ball to short. The throw to the plate. In time as Torres pegs out McCarty. And there are 2 away.
Again, I'll still never understand why with the infield in, if teams, and everyone does it, it's not just the Fisher Cats, all the teams do it, but when the infield's in like that, I know it's a contact play, but I mean, you're out by 10 feet. Why run into an out at the plate?
I agree, Jeff. Bobby Meacham is on his way to the mound, and Bryce McGowan's arm is probably falling off after those 2 at-bats in this inning. Well, there's the new pitcher, Alec Barger, making his 23rd appearance of the year. You see his numbers, 1-1, a 5.19 earned run average. Barger last worked on the 22nd of June, Sunday at Reading. Pitched a scoreless inning. There goes the runner for second. The throw down to second base is not in time. So Desan Brown steals second base. Devontae Brown had advanced to third base on that play at the plate. So now there's no harm done because there are still runners at second and third for New Hampshire. Gabriel Martinez facing the 0-1 pitch. And he hits it on the ground to second base, fielded by Jorge. His throw to first is in time, and that will be that. New Hampshire leaves 2 runners in scoring position after 5.5. 2-0 Fisher Cats. Well, let's take a look at the Yard Goats team leaders presented by Namco Pools. Braden Ward now leads the team in batting average with that .273 mark. Cole Carrick, #1 on the team in homers, runs batted in, OPS, hits, and stolen bases. Your Yard Goats team leaders presented by Namco Pools. New pitcher in the ball game is Connor Larkin, and he will work first to G.J. Hill, who lined out to right his first time up. First ball is fouled away, 0-1.
Hey, if the game plan was keep it close and try to get Savage out of the game, well, I guess the Goats have done that, right?
Yep, the Yard Goats have accomplished that. And
well, he was good.
Trey LaSavage, the number one pick of the Blue Jays in last year's draft, with his best outing in his professional career. There's a swing and a miss.
His first 2 we know are kind of shaky, I guess, but I mean, he just came up just so recently from A-ball, and I think the Jays probably saw tonight and said, okay, this is what we want to see at this next level, taking that next step.
Well, he took it tonight. 5 innings, 1 hit, an infield single in the first. That pitch misses for a ball. He walked 1 and struck out 8. Most he has struck out in a game this year. And Savage ended up throwing 75 pitches. Very good night for the Blue Jays' first-round pick. Swing and a miss, and Hill strikes out. To the top of the order, and Cole Carrig, who you just saw leading the Yard Goats in many categories. Cole tonight has grounded out to second base and looked at a third strike. New Hampshire scored a run on the second, a run on the fourth. There's a roller towards second. McCarty with a throw in time to get the speedy Carrig, and quickly 2 are gone here in the bottom of the 6th inning. McCarty making that off-balance throw. He didn't have a second to spare. Now the DH Juan Guerrero, the only Yard Goat hit. An infield hit in the hole at short in the first inning. Pitch misses outside, ball 1. Connor Larkin on in relief. 6'1", 220 pounds from Royersford, Pennsylvania. That's a ball. So a Pennsylvania native relieves a Pennsylvania native. Keystone State well represented here tonight.
That's right.
2-0. That is a strike. 2-1 on Juan. Juan had an interesting interview with Jeff before the game, talking about his hitting approach. He's not up there trying to hit a home run in every at-bat. In fact, his goal is to put the ball in the gaps. Sidearm breaking ball that's fouled back out of play.
Well, he had that little tough stretch when he first got to Hartford, but as the weather warmed up, so was Guerrero. And he now ranks among the league leaders in doubles, Dan. He's got 15 doubles, and that's why he likes to go to the gap.
He takes pride in that.
Yep.
2-2 pitch popped up on the infield. Who's it going to be? McCarty, the second baseman. And Larkin comes on and flings a 1-2-3 inning. 6 in the books at Duncan with a score. New Hampshire 2, Hartford 0. This is Yard Goats baseball. Well, that's how they swipe the infield. Look at the dirt cam as we head to the top of the 7th inning. A tight one with New Hampshire leading 2-0 and ready to carry us home on this Wednesday night. The voice of the Yard Goats, Jeff Dooley.
Thank you, Dan. Back to pitch. Alec Barger came in and got a ground ball from Gabriel Martinez as the Fisher Cats stranded 2 in the 6th inning. Alex Stone will lead things off. 9-1-2 for the Jays affiliate, and he looks at a fastball in for strike 1. Sean Sullivan went the first 4 innings. Then it was Bryce McGowan. Now Alec Barger. Ground ball left side. It's the shortstop Torres on a first base for out number 1. 2 runs coming for the Fisher Cats after a leadoff walk in the 2nd inning. RBI single by Gabriel Martinez, and then Son Brown reaching on a fielder's choice in the 4th and scoring in a Martinez 2-out hit. Only 2 runs of this game. DH Jace Borfin is in, 1 for 3, single to right field in the 2nd inning. He tracks the breaking pitch outside for a ball. Barger, 27 years old. Misses up high, 2 balls and no strikes. 3rd season with the Goats. He was acquired by the Rockies in a trade with the Braves back in 2023 for lefty pitcher Brad Hand, and came to Hartford soon after. Originally Atlanta's 17th round pick in 2019 out of NC State. Orphan 3 hits last night. He's got a hit tonight. He takes ball 4. He just must have missed a fastball at 91, and it's a 1-out walk to Jace Borfin.
First baseman Jackson Horner.
Jackson Horner, 1 for 3. Ashland, Massachusetts native out of Skidmore College in Saratoga Springs, New York. Infield drops back, double play depth. Torres at shortstop, Jorge at second, and right away Borfin will track to throw to first base.
Well, he had a stolen base in the first, and he's perfect in stolen bases this year, 5 for 5.
And then move to the bag, and it's off the mid of Kokoska, but actually hits the padding protecting that first base dugout. It comes back, cameras right back to Kokoska. Goes into the dugout. Of course, he'd be awarded second base, but Goats do catch a break as that is a live ball in play. That's up higher for a ball to the big first baseman. Barger making his 22nd appearance. 1 win, 1 loss, and a 5.19 earned run average. It's fouled straight back. This is his 6th season in the minors. Got off to a nice start this year. 1-0, 2 holds, and a 3.00 earned run average in 8 games, 9 innings in the month of April. Got his first win April 27th at Somerset. Runner breaks for a second. The pitch and the throw down to second base is in time. What a throw from Cordova from his knees. Throws out the would-be base stealer, Jade Borfin. What a throw. And let's take a look at our dirt cam and the tag by Dion Jorge.
Slid right into the tag, and a nice tag by Jorge.
So the caught stealing goes 2-4. Pitch ruled a strike, and it's 1-2 to Hornung. It's chopped towards deep third base. Caro's testing his arm and a hop. Can't get it in time, and Hornung will reach on an infield style single. Good try by Caros.
You could see unable to get a lot on that throw, so he tried to bounce it. And Hornung has another hit. 3 hits in his AA debut last night, 2 tonight.
Charles McAdoo is the batter. He's got a hit tonight, 1 for 3, singled in the 5th inning. Spoils the first one for strike 1. Barger first made his Yard Goats debut August 4th of 2023. Before the trade with Atlanta, he was at AA Mississippi. Time of the trade ranked tied for 6th in the Southern League in games. That pitch is swung out, looped to left at a base hit. Rain Ward will get it back to the infield, and Hornung will stop at second base as McAdoo picks up his 2nd hit of the night.
He just got it over Torres, the shortstop, and into shallow left where Ward came over to field. And now Jose Cordova is going to go out to the mound and have a couple of words with Barger. That pitch was actually not in a bad spot, as McAdoo took a pitch that it was on the inside portion of the plate. I mean, it was a good pitch from Barger, but McAdoo on a pitch inside managed to turn it around.
So the Goats burn a visit from the catcher, Cordova, trying to get Barger on the same page. Runners at first and second base. Ryan McCarty is in. He is 0 for 2, 2 pop-outs. He drew a walk his last at bat in the 6th inning. Swings here and lines one softly to second. Or he will come in and make the catch to end the inning. Nothing across. Fisher Cats strand 2 more. Stretch time at Duncan Park. It is New Hampshire 2 and Hartford nothing on Nesson. Well, let's take a look at our game summary here tonight. It was the Fisher Cats that got on the board first, 2nd inning. Gabriel Martinez, the RBI hit, scoring Devontae Brown. Then we go to the 4th inning. Martinez back at his old trick once again. Another RBI single. That's a looper right in front of G.J. Hill. That scores Deshaun Brown to make it 2-0. How about the pitching tonight of Trey Yesavage? He was outstanding. Ends up going a season-high 5 innings, permitting the Goats just 1 hit. He walked 1, struck out 8. Still some time to go in this one, but he is in line for the win unless the Goats can make a comeback against this Fisher Cats pen. Beautiful night for baseball here in downtown. A look at Juan Guerrero and his teammates as we go to the home 7th inning. Kyle Caros. Conrad Larkin back to pitch, and Caros at the plate, trying to extend that hitting streak to a new season high, 12 in a row. He extended the on-base streak with a walk back in the 4th inning. New franchise mark, 33 consecutive games. But Dan, as we often hear, the Goats just need a bloop and a blast. This is not an 8-0 game. It's 2-0 here in the 7th.
Well, and here we go. Another close game between these two teams. Last night was a close game.
So Larkin up against Queiroz, and the pitch is in for strike 1. Kyle took a call, 3rd strike, and then walked. He's only had 2 plate appearances. Pitch is swung and grounded underneath the glove of Charles McAdoo as it sneaks through into left field. And Kyle Queiroz will reach beginning the 7th inning. Dan, the Goats will bat the potential tying run.
Just like that. And the Yard Goats, for the first time tonight, get the leadoff batter on base.
Get it right through the 5-hole of Charles McAdoo. Queiroz aboard. Goats will try to make their climb back into this one as the shortstop and RBI man Jose Torres bats. Righty hitter. And that one all the way to the backstop gets underneath the glove of Stone, and the wild pitch will put Queiroz at second base. So it's a single for Queiroz, and then Torres has a chance to get him in as he goes to second base with a wild pitch. Pitch, swing and a miss. And a breaking pitch. And the count, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, that's going to extend Kyle's hitting streak to 12 games.
12 straight games for Kyle Queiroz. Pitch. That's outside of the count, goes to 2-1. It's picking up another hit. Just their 2nd of the game. Larkin looks to second base, now the 2-1. It's a by him at 95. The count evens off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Goats would love to get a run here in the 7th inning and make this a 1-run game. Hartford won 3-1 last night. And they did score against this Fisher Cats pen. And it's fouled at home plates. And the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Jeff, there is bullpen action for the Yard Goats. At the moment, the New Hampshire bullpen is quiet.
Larkin, 26 years old, 9th round pick of the Jays. It's sent foul back towards the roof, and it stays 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Goats shortstop.
Look at this. You've got a fan at the game watching the game.
That's great.
That is cool.
Does he have a scorebook next to him too?
He might.
Keeping score?
Maybe that's a scout. I don't know.
I love that. Then you get all the replays, right?
Yep.
2-2 is way outside. The count fills now 3-2.
That's a great point.
You can get it all now on the Bally's app. Watch all the games right on your iPhone. Larkin again ready. Off to second base is Queiroz. Here's the payoff pitch. In there for a call, 3rd strike. It was a fastball, 95, and Torres looks at it. It's now 10 strikeouts, Dan, for Fisher Cats pitching.
Well, they've done the job, led by the starter, Trey Savage, who struck out 8.
Goats need a hit. Jose Cordova's had a nice month of June. He needs to come through here. He's 0 for 2 today. Strikeout and a flyout, both at bats against Trey Savage. Starts with an off-speed pitch that bends in for strike 1. That's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jose's got a pretty good stretch going at the plates. 320 batting this month of June with a couple of homers, 5 RBI. Mentioned he was on the injured list Swings here and grounds one up to the middle. It's got a chance. It's taken by the shortstop. Doty will throw to first base in time to get Cordoba down. I think that ball hit the middle. The pitcher was redirected to short.
It did, and that probably saved the run because it deflected that baseball over to Doty, and he was able to make the play, and all Karros could do was advance to third base.
6-3 as it was deflected. And now the Goats need a 2-out hit from Braden Ward. Dan, he had a big 2-out hit last night to get the Goats some much-needed insurance. Swings here and dribbles a foul at home plate.
Here's a look at Connor Larkin in his second inning of relief. He wants a new baseball. Braden Ward, who had a big RBI single in the 8th inning last night to knock in an insurance run in Hartford's 3-1 victory.
Campbell 2 outs. Swings here and grounds it back to the mound. Larkin will field an underhand flip to end the inning. So nothing develops after a leadoff single. Goats leave Karros at third base. We head to the 8th. Valley Sports Lab is your home for minor league baseball all season long. Watch every game at no cost in the MILB zone. Test your skills and earn rewards at the Game Center. Buy tickets to watch your favorite teams. Valley Sports Lab is the perfect companion for the minor league baseball fan. So step up to the plate and download the Valley Sports Live app today. Top of the 8th we go, Dan. New arm for the Goats, and it's lefty Sam Weatherly.
Yeah, Sam Weatherly becomes the 4th pitcher used by manager Bobby Meacham tonight, making his 24th appearance of the year. No wins, 1 loss, a 5.46 ERA.
See Devontae Brown first as the righty hitter is in. Looks at strike 1. Devontae Brown has walked all 3 plate appearances tonight. That's inside of the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Weatherly has been with the Goats since day 1. Rockies' 3rd round pick, 2022 out of Clemson. Breaking pitch in for a strike as it bends in. It's 1-2. Weatherly last worked on Saturday in Reading, gave up 4 runs on 3 hits in 2 innings with a walk and 2 strikeouts. He really just had 1 bad inning. Next one's a little bit low in the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is his 5th season in the minors. Last year, 5-1, 40 appearances and a 2.22 earned run average in A-ball. This one's a little bit low in the count. 3-2 between Class A Spokane and Low A Fresno. In fact, he was the winning pitcher in last year's Northwest League Championship game. 3-2 in 10 innings. He got the win when Kyle Karros was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. What a way to win a championship. That's high ball 4. So Devontae Brown works the walk, and he's aboard to begin this 8th inning.
That is incredible. 4 walks tonight to Devontae Brown. 4 of the 6 walks issued by Hartford pitching.
It's a good eye.
It is.
He stole second base in the 2nd inning. We'll see if he's off and moving here. Don't be shocked as the Fisher Cats have a 2-0 lead. Cade Doty is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. He's flied out twice. He swings here and shoots one towards center field for Cole Carrick. Comes sprinting in. Makes the catch for out number 1. So Doty attacks the first pitch and is retired.
Devontae Brown had a total of 18 walks in his first 46 games entering tonight. And here he is picking up 4 walks tonight as Carrick made that catch.
This on Brown. 0 for 3. He's twice reached on fielders' choices. And check on Devontae Brown. He's back okay. Weatherly had tossed scoreless outings in his 2 previous games. June 18th against Reading and on the 15th against Akron here at Duncan Park. That was his last home outing. There's a bunt up the first baseline, foul. Push bunt. Goes infield. Up the middle is a double play depth with Torres at shortstop, Jorge at second. That's shoved back into the seats. Just behind the first base dugout, occupied by the Fisher Cats, since 0-2. Fans enjoying themselves on this Wednesday nights. We've got tomorrow's game, another 7 o'clock pregame show, 7:10 first pitch on Nesson. It's fouled back to the second deck. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes.
I'll tell you what, the Fisher Cats have been expert at fouling off pitches. Desan Brown, remember, in his last at-bat, had a 13-pitch at-bat before he reached base on a fielder's choice.
The 0-2, watch out. There goes dugout. Getting checked. A good move there by the Goats trainer, Toshi Nakahagwa. He moved out of that way quickly.
Don't hurt the trainer.
No, exactly. Now one for his own dugout.
I mean, this is a repeat of his last at-bat.
Yeah.
He had one stretch, he fouled off something like 7 straight pitches.
Yeah, 13 pitch at bat. Swings and misses here, strike 3. Good looking slider that time from Sam Weatherly as he strikes out Desan Brown swinging. That is the second out of the inning. Fisher Cats have some motion out there, Dan, in that pen.
Yep, there is bullpen action.
Trying to piece this 2-0 game together with Goats will have 2 more shots at it. There's a look at the Fisher Cats bullpen outside that left field fence.
A night like tonight, you'll throw a couple of pitches, then stop, throw a couple of pitches.
And then take one to get warm tonight.
Nope.
Gabriel Martinez shoots one back into the seats. Gabriel's been the offensive hero for the Fisher Cats on 2 singles to right field. 2 opposite field little dunk hits. He's got 2 RBIs. 2 for 3 tonight. Not bad night for the 8-hole hitter and Brent LaValle's lineup. Swings here. It's one of third baseman Kyle Karros on a first base to end the inning. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Duncan Park, New Hampshire 2. The Yard Goats nothing on Nesson. A look at downtown Hartford on this beautiful night here in the capital city. Not too far is the downtown district from Duncan Park, and Yard Goats and Fisher Cats battling here in game number 2 of a 6-game set. Beautiful sky here tonight. Dan, new pitcher on for the Fisher Cats is former UConn star Pat Gallagher.
Pat Gallagher becomes the 3rd pitcher used by manager Brent LaValle tonight.
24 years old, up against Zach Kokoska to start. And deals a pitch in for strike 1. Zach 0 for 2, and both at bats resulting in strikeouts.
Gallagher, by the way, just added to this roster.
Yeah. Just the other day. He's from Leominster, Massachusetts. We got a lot of Mass natives on this team as the next one is fouled off. No balls, 2 strikes. Gallagher pitching out of Vancouver, where he was 3-0 in 20 games, once as a start. 19 relief outings, a 1.13 earned run average. That's a little bit low, and the count goes to 1-2. So tonight, Danny makes his Double-A debut, and this date he pitched it in college.
Seeing a lot of players make their Double-A debut in this series.
They are. It's over but low at 93, and it's 2-2.
And his manager showing a lot of faith in him as Gallagher comes on in a tight ball game.
Pitched to UConn between 2020 and 2022 as that one is grounded up the middle into center field for a hit. So nice job by Kokoska Takes a 2-2 changeup and grounds it into center for leadoff single.
That ball left his bat at 103 miles per hour. Nobody on the infield was going to get that one.
The second baseman, number 6, Jorge.
Yeah, and Jorge, Dan, his last at bat in the 5th inning, I thought he might have gotten over the fence. It looked good off the bat. It was caught out in left center by Gabriel Martinez right in front of the fence. Thought he was going to sneak one into the visiting bullpen. He's 0 for 2 flyouts tonight, is Jorge. Strike one. Gallagher pitched 4 seasons at Leominster High School. 2-time Telegram and Gazette Player of the Year, both in 2018 and then again in 2019. First team All-State, and went to start UConn, where he was first team All Big East. Koska back ahead of the throw from Gallagher. Last year logged, I should say this year logged 39 2/3 innings in 20 games in High A, Vancouver. 113 earned run average for the Canadians. Pitch is a strike. The throw down to second base is not nearly in time. Koska. I mean, he's been a base stealing threat. He's got a couple of stolen bases recently,
Well,
Dan.
you know what, Jeff? That's a great point. You don't think of Kokoska as a base stealer, but he has to come up with his 10th steal of the year.
Yeah, how about that? So he's in scoring position for Jorge. 2 strikes the count to the 8-hole batter in Bobby Meacham's lineup. Goats did not execute with Kyle Karros at third base last inning. 0-2. That's inside. Try to get him to bite in the slider. He does not. G.J. Hill waiting on deck. He'll be next. Over but low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jorge came in. 142 batting average. He's been the everyday second baseman for the Goats. Fouls one off. Slider again. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2. Spoiled again. Jorge keeps the AB going at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's inside. Came back with a slider again, and that's a really good take by Jorge, Dan. He has worked at full now. It was 0-2. It's now 3-2.
Well, the Yard-Goats hitters are showing a lot of patience against the rookie, making him work.
Here's the payoff pitch. Chopped foul. Bobby Meacham making the play. He still got it.
He sure does.
He knows it. Kokoska leads from second base. Goats trailing 2-0 here in the 8th inning, but knocking on the door. Pat Gallagher up against Dion Jorge, and now he steps off the rubber, disengages, and that forces Kokoska to return to second base. And then reset the pitch clock. It's fouled off. First base side. Home run comes over, but it's back into the seats. And It'll be at least a 10-pitch at bat, Dan, for Dion Jorge.
Yeah, Jorge has done a great job borrowing a page from the New Hampshire hitter's book, fouling off pitch after pitch, making Gallagher work on this hot night. And like you said, the 10th pitch of the at-bat about to be delivered.
Here's the 3-2 again. It's swung on, hammered towards right field. Brown heading back, still going back, and he'll make the catch. Kokoska will tag and easily get from second to third. What an at-bat by Dion Jorge, and it's a productive at-bat as it gets Kokoska to third base.
He made Gallagher throw pitches. And you see Devontae Brown tracking it down in the corner. He got a good read on that, but it enabled Kokoska to advance to third base. Made it in plenty of time, and now we're going to get a conference on the mound between Stone and Gallagher on how to pitch to Hill. Hill's a dangerous hitter with men on base.
Hit a big home run in Sunday, Dan, in Reading. He tomahawked one over the pavilion seats out in right field where the swimming pool is.
And I'm sure that's what Stone is telling him. Don't make any mistakes. So look at that New Hampshire bullpen. Seems to be some movement. And we'll see who's loosening up. Right now, jumping up and down, that's Grayson Thurman. He warmed up last night, never got in the game, but Thurman is now warming up in that New Hampshire bullpen. There's also activity for the Yard Goats.
G.J. Hill, son of former big leaguer Glenn Allen Hill. He tracks the first one outside for a ball. He is flied to right, struck out swinging.
Now there is activity, but no bullpen action. Brian Castillo's just walking around out there.
That's low. And a slider that's outside of the zone. The count 2 balls, no strikes.
I have a hunch if Hill gets on base, you might see Thurman in the game to face Carrig.
Gallagher in his Double-A debut with the Fisher Cats. A chopper first base, but foul. And it's 2 balls and a strike.
It's tough, you know, to make that jump from high A to Double-A.
It really is.
Being thrust in a big situation, entering with the score 2-0.
You're right. It's just always in the pressure cooker, it seems, and especially with a runner on base now, and you can't give up a cookie because Hill's got 4 home runs. Pat Gallagher sets. There's a line drive into left field for a base hit. In from third comes Kokoska. The 9-hole hitter, G.J. Hill, an opposite field single into left. The Goats are on the board, and it's a 2-1 game.
Well, credit G.J. with going with the pitch. That was out of the strike zone away, and he just went with it, delivering that RBI single to left. And now the Yard Goats have the tying run on base.
And the dangerous Cole Carrig. Carrick second in the league with 47 runs scored. He's tied for 8th in homers, 4th in RBI, 7th in hits. Check to first base, and Hill back in time. Fisher Cats think that GJ could be running. The Goats have a stolen base earlier this inning. They've got 2 in the game. They're ranked 2nd in the league in thefts. Swing and a miss, runner breaking for second. The throw to second, not nearly in time. It's a stolen base by G.J. Hill. Dan, the Yard Goats just continue to run and put pressure on the defense, and it's been successful.
And how about G.J. Hill? Watch him steal his 9th base of the year. He has yet to be caught stealing.
Hartford is a single away from potentially tying this game. Carrick does have 10 home runs. Switch hitter awaiting a 1-strike offering. That misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Didn't miss by a whole lot. Hill digs out his lead at second. Ground ball, right side, underneath the glove of Hornung. Everybody will be safe. That was hit like a rocket off the bat of Carrig. Hornung tried to get in the in-between hop. He could not. And the Goats will have runners at the corners with just 1 out.
You could see just how that play was unfolding. The way Hornung went to his right. And Just a couple of days ago, Hornig was at IA, Gallagher was at IA, and now they are in a big mess, and you can be sure Carrick's going to be running here, Jeff.
Juan Guerrero is the hitter. He's 1 for 3. Singled back in the first inning. Goats have the potential tying run at third, the potential go-ahead runners at first. And the pitch in for strike one. By the way, it was ruled a fielding error by first baseman Jackson Harang. So E3, allowing Carrick first base. Infield up the middle is back at double play depth. Swing and a miss. Good looking slider that time, and Guerrero falls behind, no balls, 2 strikes. Well, just looking for a ball to drive to the outfield to try to tie this game.
That's all he has to do, and he says that's what he wants to do. He's a foul line to foul line hitter.
Check on the runner. Dan, I don't know if it goes against the book, but if he can somehow get Guerrero out, I don't think they pitch to Queiroz. I think they walk him and go at Torres.
I agree with you.
That's what my guess is. I can't see giving Queiroz a shot to beat you. Here goes the runner from first pitch, swing and a miss. To throw down to second base is not in time. It's a stolen base. Fisher Cats thought they may have had him. Guerrero, though, strikes out, and now the Ghosts will need a 2-out hit. I mean, no way do they face Queiroz here.
No. 24th stolen base of the year for Carrick.
So stolen base, he's in scoring position. Guerrero strikes out. Kyle Queiroz is stepping to the plate. I'm shocked. We'll see if he gets anything to hit. I'd be shocked if they throw him a strike. He swings and drives one deep down the right field line, but foul. On top of the Hartford upper deck. Wow. I'm really surprised they're pitching to Kyle Queiroz.
Well, I'll tell you what, you talk about getting your baptism under fire. That's what Pat Gallagher is getting right here.
Hit here, and the Goats could have the lead. Hill at third base. Carrick is at second. Queiroz swings and grounds one towards shortstop. Fielded by Doty on to first base to end the inning, and Gallagher pitches out of it. Just gives up the 1 run. They opt to pitch to Queiroz, and he grounds out to end. Well, fans enjoying themselves. There's the Patron Party Plaza out in left fields. Good spot to watch a game with a group. And the Goats see if they can keep this a 1-run game. It's 2-1, Dan, as we go to the 9th inning, and Sam Weatherly is back on the bump.
Well, the fans are seeing a good game tonight.
They are. A tight one for sure. Alex Stone will start things. He came into the game in the first inning when the Fisher Cats lost their starting catcher, Jacob Sharp, who left with an injury. So Stone had to catch back-to-back games. That's in for a strike, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike.
The 2 hottest days we've had around here in years.
Yep. A deep drive hit down the left field line, but foul out of Duncan Park, but well to the left of the foul pole, and it's 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, so Stone is gone. And that's the second strikeout for Sam Weatherly.
Yeah, Stone chasing after a pitch out of the strike zone.
And leadoff hitter, Jace Borfin, who's 1 for 3. Walked and stole a base, also singled. Hit off the bat and skims foul for strike 1. These two teams again tomorrow nights. We'll have the telecast on Nesson, 7 o'clock pregame show. You don't want to miss that. We've got a feature on Goats outfielder Braden Ward. McCade Brown will pitch against Grant Rogers. And McCade Brown, Dan, he has been really, really good this year.
Made his Double-A debut
That's up high, and the count goes to 2-1.
not too long ago
Right.
here at Duncan Park.
He's been impressive, and, not a guy that you hear a whole lot about till he arrived, but he's got a great fastball. He'll throw 96, 97. He's a power guy, a big, tall, burly right-handed pitcher. The next one is in for a strike, and every time he's out there, he seems like he gives the Yard Goats a chance to win. That's what you want from your starting pitcher.
In fact, he debuted against these New Hampshire Fisher Cats.
Lefty on lefty, and the pitch is swung out, and a high fly ball hit towards medium depth right center field. Hill, Carrick come together. It will be Hill that makes the catch. Carrick just off his shoulder, and Borfin is gone for out number 2.
Well, Sam Weatherly has done his job.
Yeah.
Coming out of the bullpen. In fact, the Hartford bullpen once again has done the job. They have not allowed an earned run yet in this series.
Looking ahead to the Goats' 9th, Hartford chasing 1 right now, and it's Jose Torres, Jose Cordova, and Braden Ward, the 3 scheduled. You want to run on that swing as they appeal, and strike 1 on Jackson Hornung. And 3 hits last night. Hornung's got 2 hits today. Ashland, Massachusetts native. Slider misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. That changeup is a little bit low, and it's 2-1. There's a foul straight back. Pretty good rip. He sends it foul, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fisher Cats would love to add to a run. They're trying to desperately end the losing skid. Weatherly sets, and the pitch that's inside. The count fills, now 3-2. Fisher Cats have lost 7 in a row. Longest active losing skid in the Eastern League. Taking it back further, they've dropped 10 of 11 since winning 8 of 9. That was their best stretch. That was June 1st to the 11th. That's tapped foul. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And that June 1st win came in the last game of a series against the Yard Goats, which they won. They won 4 out of 7 against the Yard Goats, including winning on June 1st to start a streak.
Weatherly set with a payoff pitch for Jackson Hernung. He swings here and lines one into center field for a base hit. Well, this Double-A stuff's easy for him. He's got 2 games, and he's got 6 hits over his first 2 Eastern League contests.
Hello, Buffalo calling.
Right.
Wow.
He might not take the call. He loves this ballpark.
That may not. I mean, how do you like that? Like you said, his first 2 games, 3 hits in each of the 2. And now another tough out in Charles McAdoo, as the Fisher Cats desperately want a insurance run. I think we might be getting a pinch runner for Hornung.
Pitch running at first base, number 7, Jay Herring.
Yeah, Jay Herron's going to pinch run. So the pinch runner is at first base, and Charles McAdoo, who has 2 hits tonight, is at the plate.
Now this tells me Harry's going to be running.
You would think, right?
Yep.
And want that run badly. That's ball 1 to McAdoo, who singled in the 5th, then singled again in the 7th. There's a look at Jay Harry at first base. That's in for a strike, and the count evens 1 ball, 1 strike. There are 2 outs in the inning.
Harry has 4 stolen bases on the year. He has not been caught stealing.
Strike two. The 1-2. In there for a call, third strike. Weatherly strikes out. Charles McAdoo looking. That'll wrap up the top of the ninth inning. Last call for the Yard Goats as we head to the bottom of the ninth. It's 2-1 Fisher Cats here on NESN.
And yet they've managed just 2 runs and are in a 1-run game, Jeff.
Mason Thurman, 26 years old, fastball slider splitter in the bag of tricks. He'll face Jose Torres to start this ninth inning. He's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. First one, changeup, misses low for a ball. Well, the Goats had second and third 2 outs. I thought for sure that Gallagher and the Fisher Cats would intentionally walk Kyle Karros, and they pitched to Conley, grounded a short to end it. There's a swing and a miss. And the count 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, there's an old line, don't let the other team's best player hurt you, but, you know, Lavallee took a chance.
Yeah, but good for them. And you know what? It is about development. There's a ground ball out to shortstop. Tough play for Doty. Turns and throws on a hop. He got him. Nice play by Kate Doty as Torres is gone for the first out of the ninth inning.
Boy, that had trouble written all over it, but Doty really didn't get much on the throw and yet somehow managed to get Torres on a bang-bang play. That all-important first out is retired. These are the toughest 3 outs to get in baseball. Any bullpen will tell you that.
Jose Cordova 0 for 3, swings here and chops on the first base. Scooped up by Hermrong. He'll take it back to the bag himself and make the play. Actually, that's a new first baseman.
McAdoo moved from third base to first base. So McAdoo is now playing first base, and the third baseman is Cade Doughty. Doughty moved to third, so they had changes all over the place, and the shortstop is Harry.
So now Braden Ward is the batter. And Ward takes the first one. Breaking pitch for ball 1. Ward 0 for 3 today with a fly-out, ground-out, and a strikeout. It's way up high. Well, Braden needs to get on, and then you have to worry about him stealing second base. And there's 22 stolen bases. Thurman trying to close out this game, and it's a 2-1 lead for the Fisher Cats. There's a strike, and a low strike and off-speed pitch, and it's 2-1. Braden does have a home run this season.
Well, but he gets on base, then you've got to deal with Kokoska.
Yep. That would be the potential winning run. That's ball 4. How about that? Braden Ward showing some patience, working the walk, and great speed at first base is the potential tying run.
Only the second walk given up by New Hampshire pitching tonight. And now manager Bobby Meacham is faced with a decision. That's Luis Lopez, the first base coach. Ward's got great speed. Do you run him and take that chance with Kokoska, the winning run at the plate?
He did not run in the first pitch. Breaking pitch is high for a ball. Ward was telling us that the other day, and you know, he also wants to draw some attention, he said, because if I can get Zach a good cookie down the middle, he can hit out of the ballpark. You have to know when to go, though. There's a big swing and a miss. Zach trying to end the game, but he missed the slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. Zach's at 7 home runs. He led the Eastern League last year. Look at Bobby Meacham. He's got a hit and a run scored today. Scored the only run for the Goats and a single by G.J. Hill last inning. Hartford trying to make a late run at the Fisher Cats bullpen. Ground ball left side to his left. McAdoo bobbles it, now picks it up, throws to first base, and it's not in time. And everybody is safe. To third base for the play goes Ward.
Well, there's Doty, and you could see that ball gave him all kinds of trouble. Remember, he shifted over to third base with the defensive alignment change here in the bottom of the ninth. And now the Yard Goats have a chance.
That might be a hit, too, because he was way out of position to try to make that play. Doty broke to the left and then went to the right. And Kokoska reaching first base. Now first and second they stand for Dion Jorge, who's 0 for 3 today. So an extra base hit could win it. Runners at first and second base for the second baseman, Dion Jorge. He takes the changeup in for strike one. A little single here, Dan, could tie the game.
That's it. And you've got great speed with Ward at second base.
Actually, an error ruled on Kate Doty. So E5 allowing Kokoska to reach. That's up high. 1 ball, 1 strike to Dion Jorge.
Well, we said the toughest 3 outs in baseball. He gets the first 2 batters out, and then a walk, and then an error.
Ward, good speed, leads from second, the potential tying run. The chopper hit foul at home plates. Thurman, 26 years old, trying to polish off Dion Jorge. Defensive swing, another changeup. A lot of off-speed pitches, Dan, from Grayson Thurman in this 9th inning.
Yeah, he doesn't want to come in with a fastball, and Jorge went down after that pitch. That broke low over the plate.
Again, the 1-2 swung on. That's hit towards center field. Brown backing up, has a beat on it, and he makes the catch to end the ball game. Now, good bid by the Goats, Dan. They come up a run short, though, and lose the game 2-1.
Yeah, they went right down to the end, Jeff, but the Fisher Cats hold on for a 2-1 victory. That's the way these two teams have played this season. You see the last play, a fly out to center field where Brown is there to put it away with 2 men on base.
Now the Goats had some chances, but I'll tell you what a great pitching night for the Fisher Cats. They got it done from the starting pitching to the bullpen, and they end up beating the Goats by a run 2-1.
Well, that's it. Yard Goats got good pitching too, but the hitting just wasn't there tonight.
So we will go to game 3 of the 6-game set tomorrow, with each team winning a game apiece. Fisher Cats take the Wednesday night contest 2-1. The final score. For Dan Lovallo and all of us here in Hartford, Jeff Dooley saying once again the final score, the Fisher Cats 2, the Yard Goats 1. Thanks for tuning in to Yard Goats Baseball. Good night, everybody.